actually realise how bright this painting would have been is, in all actuality, underneath all that dirt. Not necessarily dirt. Are you ready to see her? Let's go. Oh yes, we stand the queen. What a change this is now. I already mentioned about the colour, but can we focus on the fabric? That is clearly velvet. I imagine. That was quite a heavy material. For comparison, look at the headdress here and the headdress here. The detail on the headdress is so much more pronounced. Also rather interested in her skin tone. She has a very fair complexion. Also so much appreciation for the contrast between the background and her clothes. The contrast really does make her pop out of the painting, doesn't it? Anyway, one more time, before and after. Anne of Cleves' painting has.
A couple of weeks ago, I tried to do like an oil spill makeup look, and it just did not look good, honestly. Every time I've attempted to do an oil spill look, I always put the black on after I put the glitter, and I think that's one of the problems I've been having. Going into this with like no plan, I really like the shapes. It's very oil spilly. Now for the like glittery parts, I'm going to use a couple different things. I have some single shadows by Enco Beauty, and then I have the Machina palette by Blend Bunny Cosmetics. I always do this part a little bit differently, so we'll see what we end up with. Slight dilemma, it does not look good on camera, at least from what I can see at the moment. I think that's like the main reason why these looks never look that good, even though they do look good, but they don't. Do we see this bump? I have a suspicious bump. I don't know what that's from. Now to add the face mask. I have about 30 minutes before I have to take this off, so we are just going to try to fly through this. I'm still adding the mask, but I think we're at a good stopping point, so I'm going to do my little finishing touches, and I'll be right back with the finished look. And the finished look, what do we think? I try not to blink with the eye blood in, and then I blinked, and now it's everywhere. I honestly want to rate it like a 4 out of 10 because the lighting is just not working. I don't know how to do this type of lighting with like this type of shiny look. I'm kind of really struggling with it. I don't know how to do it. I think I need a darker backdrop, which I did order, but they're not here yet. On the bright side, I can feel it. A couple of weeks ago, I tried to do like
woman in a blonde wig. So do you have a
Yeah, have you guys noticed a considerable bump in quality? We're at my studio today, not over at whatever kindergarten she runs over at her thing.
you gave me a Coca-Cola and you think I'm gonna sit here and not do that?
You come in here, you drink your miniature can of Coca-Cola, you paint your face geisha white.
Happy Pie
That just like made me want to launch out of my body.
A glam shot. Happy.
God, grab the trowel. Hear the firing squad.
Show your ears. Show your ears.
Oh, earrings.
Ears up.
Oh, I don't want to get. Oh, the bunny
The
ears.
bunny ears.
Well, do you remember how we met? It was January.
I quite often shave my eyebrows, and I've been told several times, don't do that. So, for the first time in like 2 years, we're trying to glue down the tails of my brows, which are pretty fucking smooth. I'm not even gonna lie. Not even gonna lie, they're pretty fucking smooth.
really shoved up my ass after.
Yo, the best way to remember
Fucking
something
rolling
is to forget
tits,
something.
bitch.
What'd you forget?
This lip is everything. I was talking about myself.
Oh, yeah, no, that's really pretty. I'm so playing with one.
You immediately. Oh, fuck.
Circle will come up and then it acts like a right click.
She doesn't get it because she's got a neck.
Yeah, I don't have problems.
There's no judge as relentless as the internet. No matter who you are, it will eventually come for you, and no misdeed will be forgotten. Some people know better than to put their personal lives on display and keep a degree of privacy, while others don't really have a choice. Adam Dahlberg, also known as Sky Does Minecraft, and a dozen other aliases, relinquished his privacy through the
Why the
things
fuck
he
is there a
allegedly
thumbtack
did
here?
to his ex-girlfriends, his employees, and himself. But there are aspects of this case undercovered by YouTube commentary channels. Where did Sky go after the allegations came out? What are the bizarre videos on his channel that make him seem like he's on drugs? Today, Toastify and I are going to go deep into how far Sky Does Minecraft
Hey,
fell
Bruce.
from grace. If it weren't for the catastrophic ending Sky's story got, he would probably be one of the most inspiring content creator origin stories, hands down. From being overweight and depressed in the late 2000s, to starting a channel dedicated to playing RuneScape, which, though not very successful, helped him and a few like-minded people online who had a passion for making gaming videos. As his life tentatively improved and he'd shed a lot of weight, those same friends he made on the platform were pivoting to a new game. And Sky followed suit, not knowing said game was Minecraft, which would go on to be the rising tide that raised all ships, including his own channel. In February 2013, Sky Does Minecraft hit 1 million subs and was making over 15 grand a month, placing Sky in a position he was not at all prepared to be in. His immediate reaction was to stick to his guns and continue relying heavily on his friends for his content, collaborating with them very often to make these theatrical videos wherein they would have a story play out. Eventually, these collaborations crystallized into a group called Team Crafted, with whom Sky moved into a house so that they could all do IRL content with each other. To be honest, this is kind of a trailblazer idea, because content houses were all the rage just a little while after. At this point in time, Sky was a part of the YouTube elite. One of the biggest trademarks he left in his wake was the butter phenomenon, in which kids around that time who were also getting into Minecraft were mining one of the memes from his channel, which was to refer to the in-game gold as butter. It's kind of cringe to think about it now, but one of the best metrics of success is whether kids are annoyingly repeating your catchphrases to one another, and that was certainly a metric in which Sky excelled.
His success wasn't limited to the confines of the online world either, as he received some degree of mainstream recognition, eventually even participating in a Lady Gaga video. However, the success that Sky enjoyed was very short-lived, since as early as June 2013, his girlfriend at the time, Dawn, broke up with him just 4 months after their engagement. He eventually admitted he had to pay her $25,000 and a car to get her to stay the last few months for the purposes of making content. And speaking of content, things on that end were also pretty shaky, as the IRL content that Sky and Team Crafted expected to be putting out wasn't coming together whatsoever. The content very quickly was trailing off, and everyone was realizing this was unsustainable as a business model. Conflict very quickly came to a head when one member, Seto, was kicked out for basically being unwilling to show his face and participate fully in the IRL content. Another member, Tai, stood against this and was also excluded.
While the haze of the gaming YouTube golden age was a hard one to see through, it became clear that Sky was a much less amiable person than he appeared to be, and was willing to drop others without hesitation, despite them supposedly being friends. In March 2014, Sky left, citing no reason for his departure, which raised many eyebrows. This is where one of the major chess pieces that would eventually culminate in Sky's total undoing would enter the scene: Alessa. Growing increasingly friendless, Sky decided to reach out to his crush from school, obviously now being in a much more favorable position to impress her than he was during his school years. Alessa replied, informing him that she'd recently broken up with her boyfriend, and without missing a beat, Sky invited her over to the Team Crafted house, no less, which was now vacant, and the two started dating.
After attempting to become a variety channel as Minecraft's popularity dwindled and he lost interest in the game, he and Alessa had a child, Mason. Despite the catastrophic failure of Team Crafted, Sky still held his ambitions to become a diversified media company and decided to start Sky Media, which would end up being an even bigger blunder that team crafted. As he selected whom he'd hire for Sky Media, he deliberately chose not to hire a former frequent collaborator of his known as Bashaverse, over the fact that Basha had been, as far as I understand it, convicted of an unlawful transaction with a minor under 16, which, as defined by law, means to encourage, assist, or coerce a minor into an illegal activity, which is unspecified in this conviction, and it's its own can of worms I don't want to tackle right now. Though it's safe to say that this information being leaked was one of the primary triggers for Basha's ultimate downfall.
I just wanted to leave my f***ing room! I was in for years, and I finally did, and you won't leave me alone! Ah! I'm tired of it!
Very quickly, the company's operations began devolving. According to one of the former members, individual members of Sky Media weren't allowed to run their own channels and had to sell them to Sky, who consequently had the right to do whatever he wanted with them, including retooling people's entire online presence to represent other people, erasing any trace of the original account owner. The person who alleged this, Ross, was also close friends with the editors, and after a tweet was made by one of them criticizing other famous YouTubers, Sky interpreted it as a subliminal insult directed at him. Eventually, this conflict erupted, causing Ross and the editors to leave, but not before Sky supposedly threatened to bleed them dry in court if they ever spoke out about it. Soon after, another member of the group, Jinba, was fired from Sky Media after an argument about Super Smash Bros. And a few months later was arrested for grooming a minor, who at the time was somewhere between 14 and 15. Jinba was in his 20s. Again, this isn't directly connected to Sky, but it's worth mentioning how everything surrounding Sky Media was rapidly going sour in the most extreme ways imaginable. 2016 rolled around, and things went from being rocky to collapsing at free-fall speed. In the latter half of the year, he made a video admitting to having recently spent a week at a mental hospital, being treated for clinical depression and bulimia. Whilst this was purposely kept under wraps, with Sky even directly asking Keemstar not to report on any news regarding the topic, behind the scenes, his relationship with Alessa was crumbling. At this point, she had already cheated on him once, and the two broke up and started having public shouting matches on Twitter. After a 6-week break in early 2017, Sky resumed posting, and in March, even got back together with Alessa, only to break up again soon after, claiming on Twitter she had cheated on him a second time. Eventually, in an interview Adam did with Keemstar, he claimed Alessa had cheated on him with 7 people, 5 of them being other YouTubers, and 2 of them being his friends. You reckon she hopped on the Jimbot.com? On the business side of things, he's recently been offered an 8-figure deal from a corporation to make more Minecraft content on his channel, which is an opportunity very few people have ever been given. However, the money wasn't enough for him to keep his act together and continue working on producing content, and in mid-2017, he made a pivot to becoming a music channel under the name Net Nobody. As you can imagine, his channel's prospects were not looking good, and things were even worse on the personal side of things, since at this point, Adam was no longer allowed to see his son due to the adverse relationship he had with Alessa. Eventually, after a lot of struggle, he managed to get partial custody, but by now, his kid could hardly recognize him. As it stood, this was a tragic story, but few could imagine its next developments.
Over the course of the next few years, people had mixed feelings for Sky. On the one hand, many still had positive feelings towards him, seeing him as the once huge Minecraft guy who just had his personal life and mental health issues swallow up everything else. Others saw Sky as the architect of his own downfall, not sympathizing with the situation because, after all, he made millions of dollars playing video games, and people thought he should be able to get his act together. As the public reeled in from his public conflict with Alessa and his career as a musician failed, he eventually went back to making gaming and Minecraft videos, but they continued to dwindle in success as the years went by. To be honest, he probably could have turned it around even after all of this if he tried to do something different, but still within the same umbrella. But for whatever reason, for him, it was a binary between only doing music and distancing himself completely from his
I need to
original
go
content
wet
for
this. I'll be back in a second.
doing the same old shtick he's always done. For all intents and purposes, his channel, along with every media company he tried running, was dead, with whatever remained being sold off whenever possible, like a carcass being picked apart by vultures. For 4 years, his online presence quietly languished, until the time came for it to no longer do so quietly. Following his separation from Alessa, Adam dated another girl named Elizabeth. And unlike Alessa, Adam tried to keep her away from the spotlight. A common line of thinking regarding not just Adam and Alessa's relationship, but online relationships in general, is that part of the reason for their downfall is precisely how exposed they are to the public, with the partners potentially being swayed by their opinions. However, there's another side to this coin. Sometimes being exposed to the public is actually keeping things from becoming much worse, as one of the parties in the relationship would behave a lot worse if they knew they wouldn't be held accountable by an audience. If Elizabeth's words are to be trusted, this was definitely the case. In early 2022, she took to Twitter to speak at length about her experience with Adam. This has been covered before, given it took place all the way back in 2022, but there are a few things in this whole story that contextualize all the allegations surrounding Adam's name. Right now, I think it's important for me to disclaim that the following part of this video is composed mostly of allegations that I'm simply documenting, and that they get pretty dark in tone, so if you're sensitive to abuse-related topics, beware. The first tweet in the series was a link to an iCloud document in which Elizabeth went in depth about their relationship. She begins by saying she spent thousands of dollars to come live with him, despite him obviously being someone who at least was supposed to be financially well off. As for Elizabeth, Adam claims that his only mental health issues were that he was bipolar and potentially on the spectrum, which she proceeded to claim was a lie. As previously mentioned, there was an active push to keep her and their child, because yes, Adam had a second child with Elizabeth, under wraps, and allegedly not for any noble reason, but because he wanted to have complete power over the narrative over the relationship in case things ever went sour the same way they did with Alessa. Elizabeth said that Adam pressured her into having that baby, claiming he said things like, "Please, please, I want another kid. I have the money. I want another kid because
Blue Bunny, we test to make sure our mini treats are crunchy and mini. Thor! Oh, beautiful. Sorry. So, does it feel mini enough for you? Yeah. Approved. Blue Bunny, we make fun.
Alessa keeps me from being the father I dream of. Regardless of her intense resistance to Adam's push to beget a child, she eventually gave in. However, when she informed him that she was pregnant, his reaction was to express a mild contentment. Bringing Adam's allegations that Alessa had cheated on him multiple times back into the light, Elizabeth said, "Throughout our relationship, you were always on your phone, always hiding messages, having separate texting apps and leading conversations. You tried to pressure me into letting you be poly with your friend, and degraded me when I told you it's not my thing, and I'm not comfortable with that. You just like cheating. You like feeling better than everyone else, and you want people to do whatever you say. You not only cheated on me, but you did it several times before I even moved in with you. I found all the conversations, all the emails, everything that showed I was just a trophy to you, just an object on the shelf." There was a very radical shift in gears that made it very difficult for the people who pitied Adam for a situation and still saw Alessa as the villain of their story. Another of his alleged egregious acts was an offer he made of paying Elizabeth $100 grand so that she would give him their child, despite him no longer having that kind of money in hand for a long time. Concerning his financial situation, Elizabeth added that the aforementioned money that Adam was offered by corporations in actuality never completely materialized. You see, they must have been on some kind of payment plan for him to get paid as he did the work he was supposed to, but instead of producing the content, he just spent it on drugs, leaving Elizabeth to scramble for money to pay bills and keep food in their house, all the while being mistreated. For every one of these greater misdeeds of his, there were a number of smaller examples. According to her, he would throw away the food she made him, make her move a 200-pound washing machine while pregnant, repeatedly tell her to get ready for a date night, but then change plans at the last hour and invite his friends over. Some of this is small stuff, and some of it is relatively trivial, but at the time at least, the fans really believed this. Another pattern that manifests through her account is that despite struggling with mental health issues himself and expecting people to have understanding with him, he'd have no patience with her whenever she was the one having an anxiety attack. This video is brought to you by G Fuel, the world's leading energy drink brand. They sell these little
that's
tubs of
not that
powder that you
good.
can mix with water and then just get going. It's that easy. It's got an amazing taste. It's clean, caffeinated energy that will keep you laser focused while watching Skibbity Toilet videos all day. And there are 40 servings of this stuff in every single tub, so it's a lot of bang for your buck. And right now for March, it's G Fuel Madness, where you can buy one tub and get another one absolutely free. They just sent me this Naruto Sage Mode G Fuel, which is excellent. And I've also
I need
got
to,
my personal
comb my
favorite
hair
here,
around.
Blue Ice, which is just a great flavor. Mixes with water really well, and like once again, like it tastes great. And the best part about it is there's no crash or jitters after I drink it. Don't be a loser. Buy G Fuel today with my link in the description below and in the top comment, so you can get the best powdered energy on the market, and so they keep giving me money. I like that a lot. Thanks for watching. Back to the video.
Notwithstanding, Elizabeth says he not only kept doing hard drugs, despite knowing that they would interfere with his mental health and potentially make him permanently psychotic, but actively pushed for all of his friends to also do them. All of this while sharing a house with a woman who's pregnant with his child, mind you. He refused to
It's
stop
in
smoking in
my
the
eye.
house,
Jesus
claiming it was
Christ.
his and he could do whatever he wanted. When the topic was Alessa, Elizabeth revealed the campaign Adam did to get custody of his son, which included going on drama alert and screaming and crying about how much he wanted his son back, was, to put it bluntly, a sham. Elizabeth explained that Adam had her and his mom take care of Mason and bring him back and forth on visits, whilst he did next to nothing. Alessa, contrary to what many believed, was described as an amazing mother and the unsung hero of their public spat. Despite how bad things already are by now, Adam's alleged misdeeds extend far beyond being an abusive boyfriend or a negligent father. On the second page of her document, Elizabeth wrote, "You also have assaulted and sexually harassed several women, even paid them off with hundreds of thousands of dollars just to protect your perfect little image. You paid a girl to keep quiet years ago because you almost got her pregnant, and you didn't care. You sent nudes to young girls. You were extremely unfaithful. As soon as I left, you got with my best friend, who I considered to be like a sister. Over the years, you failed to acknowledge how you pay young girls money for their time and attention. Cheating is gross. Alessa loved you, and you would cheat, manipulate, and lie when she defended herself. Alessa tried so much to help you. All your girlfriends did. You didn't care. You tried cheating on me with an AI Twitter account. You would tell me how she is the only one that understands you. You would wake people up in the middle of the night to talk about this AI. The next thing she zeroed in on was the consequences of Adam's drug abuse. She described him as acting possessed and doing spiritual talk, even calling it speaking in tongues at one point, which made her very concerned he was becoming psychotic, which was a definite possibility since Adam's psychiatrist had told him years prior that even smoking weed had a significant risk of psychosis for him. Eventually, his sleeping and eating patterns became more erratic, and his demeanor towards her got increasingly aggressive, with Adam being verbally abusive, breaking things around the house, scattering food over the counter and floors, and though I don't quite get this one, jumping in and out of windows. Does she mean leaping through the glass and breaking in the process, or just jumping through open windows? Either way, very psychotic behavior. In one instance, Adam is alleged to have locked their dog Albert in a kennel, screaming at him, feeding him candy and Gatorade, and for whatever reason, calling him Elon Musk. This may be weird or even funny at first glance, but a very common expression of being severely deranged is randomly bringing up celebrities or historical personalities into your personal life. However, it gets a lot worse. Adam would let Albert outside when it was freezing cold, causing the dog to get lost and nearly freeze to death. Apparently, he did this multiple times. Once, whilst he got manic at Elizabeth, the dog bit him, and Adam's reaction was to drag the animal around by his neck. Apparently, he had a habit of doing this, even surrounding him with mirrors in the kennel at one time because he was nervous, presumably to further disturb the dog. Elizabeth also said that Adam would deliberately clog all the drains, forcing her to have to go to the store to use the bathroom during her pregnancy, which obviously, being pregnant, made her have to go to the bathroom much more often than normal. Adam wouldn't let her shower, eat, or sleep by blasting music and doing skitsababble, and the house was often exposed to the elements as he'd leave doors open during blizzards. Count as they didn't just terrorize people domestically, but also did it online as well. Adam would be constantly spamming Alessa with demands to see his son, whilst Elizabeth would be texting her, informing her Mason would not be safe, since whenever he was upset, Adam would put him at risk in various ways. Adam would also call up Ant Venom and scream nonsense at him, saying how much he hated him. For context, Ant Venom is one of the few YouTubers who came out the same scene as Adam, but unlike Adam and his peers, he came out relatively unscathed and actually managed to be an extremely successful content creator by doing more technical videos on Minecraft. Obviously, Ant Venom's success was deeply resented by Sky, who completely failed to do the same despite initially having a way bigger channel. More signs of clearly psychotic behavior include Adam punching an amethyst he had on the wall, and after the resulting gash in his fist had been bandaged, he would purposely take the bandages off and start rubbing his blood on Elizabeth and all over the walls. It's also mentioned in the section
Oh,
that was left
that's
unspecified
nauseating.
that actually happened in the same time period, but Elizabeth also claims that Adam
Oh, my
elbowed his
eyebrow.
son multiple times. After being taken to the hospital to get his hand checked against his wishes, Adam became violent and started screaming and kicking Elizabeth in her stomach, proceeding to fight the staff and yell out the N-word. Adam was subdued by security and spent a week in the hospital, but after returning to his house, his behavior hadn't changed one bit. However, it did change whenever Elizabeth called 911, at which point Adam would act completely normal in front of the police, meaning he wasn't so insane that he was unaware he was being erratic. He could turn it on and off whenever it's convenient for him. There were, at some point, dozens of recordings Elizabeth made of Adam saying he wanted to kill multiple different people, but he forced her to delete them when he found out about it, something that, according to the document, also happened to Alessa. This culminated in Adam being in the face whilst wielding a knife, and then proceeded proceeding to slash one of their roommates' mattresses with it. Unbeknownst to him, whilst this was taking place, Elizabeth was on the call with a police officer, being instructed to act as if she was on a call with someone she knew, so as not to raise any suspicions and attract Adam's attention to her. Once they'd arrived at the scene and Adam noticed there was police presence, he immediately pivoted to pretending he was doing spring cleaning. However, it was very clear to the cops that this was not the case, as the house was in utter shambles, and as they moved in to secure Elizabeth's safety, upon seeing that the officers were talking to her, Adam began getting erratic again, started rambling about God, video games, his son, his rights, and nuclear power to the officer, and was promptly arrested. We'll briefly sidestep the iCloud documents so that we can go over the police reports, which were also made available on the Twitter thread.
Adam was charged with malicious mischief of the third degree, specified as damage to private property since he slashed his roommate's mattress, and a harassment threat. After being involuntarily committed to the hospital, he was still behaving strangely, saying nonsensical things, and resisting whenever the officers wanted him to lie down to keep him from running out of his hospital room and attacking the staff, which fortunately never happened. As Adam spent the next few weeks in the hospital, he continued to frequently call Elizabeth, which according to her, brought her to the brink of almost doing something very drastic. And the only thing that stopped her was the fact that she was going to be a mother. However, none of this fazed Adam, who was simply focused on getting out of the hospital as soon as possible. When he did, his behavior resumed, with the added bonus that he began regularly threatening his own well-being to further manipulate Elizabeth into getting whatever he wanted. At a later moment, when Elizabeth was trying to sleep, Adam ran into her room and yanked her out of the bed, at which point she said she felt a tear in the side of her stomach. As soon as he noticed she was screaming out in pain and crying, Adam ran out of the room, almost like a kid after they broke a piece of furniture or something. As a matter of fact, a lot of these behaviors are like a very distorted, psychotic version of things that a kid would do. Something Elizabeth mentions almost immediately when recounting this event is the fact that Adam blew through all of their money on candy and drugs. In the tweets that followed, she attached some images of her PayPal paying back $6,000 and consequently being over negative $6,000 in the checking. Her prolonged episode of being tormented in Adam's hands apparently came to an end when he told her to call her dad. The thing is, when she did, her dad immediately started driving at 2 a.m. to come get her. According to her, when Adam realized he'd overplayed his hand and made a mistake, he began texting everyone they knew to start spreading a narrative that she was the belligerent one, the same way he did Alessa. Even though they were no longer living together, Elizabeth continued to text him, trying to be supportive, but Adam continued to do the same. 2 months after her departure, she gave birth in a hospital that was under strict instructions to put the hospital in complete lockdown for Adam to show up. Elizabeth was wise enough to prevent Adam from ever being in the same vicinity as their child if he was unmedicated, but since he continued to not take his meds, he never met his own daughter. While he apparently continued to harass her in private and in public, Adam was repeatedly either threatening to do something drastic himself or pretending he'd already done it. Attached to her statements are a few videos, which she gives context for. This one is explained by Elizabeth as Adam asking for the last $200 she had so that he could buy weed and candy. One of the last things said in the document is that there is another unnamed person who has a restraining order against Adam, but we don't get any further info on that. The other images attached to the tweets show Adam randomly referring to Elizabeth using the N-word, talking to this aforementioned other girl when he was still with Elizabeth, along with an image of the slashed mattress, forgetting his daughter's due date and demanding to see her when she was born, endlessly spamming Elizabeth with calls in the middle of the night, threatening his own life again to manipulate her, along with a few recordings of the voice
Block
messages
the
he left her.
fucking number. Jesus.
I don't respect you.
The fact that she has recordings
Yep,
of his
that's
voice honestly
psychosis.
gives her account a lot more credence
That's
than if she
fucking
only had text
psychosis.
message receipts. But still, as I said, I'm documenting
That's
these as allegations
psychosis.
and not attesting to the
That is-
credibility. But if there are elements of her story that you think are dubious, there are 2 more that really solidify Elizabeth's claims. First off, on the very same day, a former collaborator of Sky's, the British YouTuber Gizzy Gaza, also posted about his experience with him, which is also very long, so I'll give it the same treatment I gave Elizabeth's and paraphrase it. He does note right at the beginning that he had no concrete evidence for his claims since most of it took place over Skype, and he couldn't manage to find anything archived. Again, I'll have to let you be the judge of their veracity. In his document, Gizzy retells that he was the originator of the idea to make the Cops and Robbers series, in which they recreated a Halo 3 Forge map to do roleplay, and it blew up and became a landmark of early 2010s Minecraft videos. However, after inviting Adam for the second recording of it, the series got away from Gizzy, and eventually he stopped being invited to them altogether, despite playing a pivotal role in getting it started. This, according to him, was done purposely by Adam, who deliberately misinterpreted Gizzy's claim to be the originator of the map, as if he was saying he did it by himself without the help of Podcrash, the people who built the map under Gizzy's instructions. This permanently made him persona non grata in the Minecraft community. In 2014, Adam actively went around contacting other content creators and told them not not to work with Gizzy. Effectively, a boycott coming from one of the most important gaming YouTubers of that era for seemingly no good reason. Also on the same day, Alessa took to Twitter to clarify her position on the erupting news about Sky, saying, "The only time I ever kept our son away was when he didn't have an active parenting plan set up to ensure I'd get him back after visitations. Instead of waiting for the parenting plan, Adam let Keemstar manipulate him into having a breakdown on Drama Alert. To this day, Adam blames me for the Drama Alert thing. Says we're digging up old news. I remember the time Adam wrote a love song for another girl and played it for our coworkers in front of me. My coworkers were like, 'Oh, it's so sweet he made a song about you.' I had to make it awkward and admit it wasn't about me. Then I got harassed about it for days, saying I embarrassed him in front of his employees and how immature I was being, constantly gaslighting me. And the song was for a girl he was cheating on me with, by the way. He also let her borrow my car without asking. When Dawn, his older ex, and I came together to write an affidavit against him, he bribed her by giving her the pinball from the relationship in an attempt to quiet her and discredit everything I was saying. Like I said, he uses people and animals.
I need to get food. I'm hungry.
For his own gain. Adam likes to call me an abuser for finally retaliating at him physically after he had been chasing me around and cornering me. I lashed out after he screamed in my face that he would do everything in my power to make sure the court sees you as an unfit mother. He wouldn't move, so I grabbed his neck and punched him. And honestly, I regret nothing, and he cannot hold that over my head anymore. The sad part is, when the cops came, I didn't tell them about him physically restraining me or screaming at me. I was scared the public would find out, thus making him lose his job, thus leaving my son with no support as I didn't have a job at the time. I spent my son's first Easter in jail because he wouldn't send money to his parents to help bail me out. I sat there for 5 days. Then he tried to dox me with this information to his millions of followers to get them to mob me. At about 6 months pregnant, Adam took my car keys, my phone, my laptop, and left me in our house with no food until they came back home at around 11 p.m. The lake house was miles away from any grocery store or restaurant. Otherwise, I would have walked. And even if I found somewhere to purchase food, I had no money of my own. I was financially held hostage anytime I disagreed with him. Adam isolated me from my friends and family. I had no one to call, and my father was in Mexico. I had no money of my own because Adam was supporting me because I had recently given birth to our son, and I wasn't working. And since everyone's been asking, yes, they are also the reason I no longer have access to my old YouTube channel. Later on, Alessa shared a message she allegedly got from Adam's mother, which read, "What is the end result you're looking for here? Adam forced to work a menial job like 7-Eleven or McDonald's? Well, prepare for $25 a month of child support. DSHS will lower the payments to what he'll be able to pay. You'll have to get a job. You destroyed his singing career. Now you've wrecked his life and livelihood. You accuse him of the worst crimes via vigilante justice. No defense, no judge, no jury. Just an angry mob who doesn't really know what went on. But I was there for your bad actions as well as his. Grow up and stop being the angry mob to feel better." It's interesting to me that the first thing expressed in her message is the idea of Adam working a regular job and how horrible that would be, trying to make it about the child supports, and willingly ignoring the fact that at this point, Alessa already had a job and was supporting Mason on her own income. While the image we got of Adam's mom from Elizabeth was a more positive one, if this message she sent Alessa is genuine, it may be the case that her motivation for helping Adam's victims out is so that it never gets so bad that Adam does something that lands him in prison, basically cleaning up after him while simultaneously enabling. Of course, this is just speculation based on Alessa and Elizabeth's claims. User Munching Brotato quote tweeted Alessa saying he was with Adam and Alessa back in 2015 and witnessed him berating her, telling her he would have to delete all of her social media in the middle of a flight. In reply to his post, user Turpy Clouds also attested to having witnessed Adam throwing objects, including ones made out of glass, at Alessa in a hotel room while she was pregnant, causing thousands of dollars worth of damage, and most importantly, endangering his own kid's life in the process. This was back in 2014, and there were pictures from the trip they attached to the tweet. Along with Alessa, Ross, who worked at Sky Media, also made some tweets, revealing that Sky would only let him have his channel back for $100,000, and when Ross refused that generous offer, it made him angry. He also showed some prints of conversations wherein Adam was trying to pressure him into doing things at the office that he didn't agree to.
Another person who came out against Sky was someone named Brian, who mentioned he made a tweet longer 2 years prior about some assault situations he had suffered, which included a story about Sky, though he hadn't named him in the original post. The story described him going to Las Vegas and attending a karaoke with Sky, who got very intoxicated and at one point tried to non-consensually kiss him. In his tweets, he elaborated, saying, "Back in 2016, Adam called me to tell me that he wanted me to move out to Seattle to become a huge brand new YouTuber, make me the next big thing. Time had passed and I was told I was going to get a call with his manager at the time to talk specifics, but nothing came from it. Then we ended up at PAX South 2017, where I asked Adam at the house party what was going on, and he said he would get me answers next week when he got back. After a week, still nothing. Eventually, I started to hear rumors and claims that Adam would talk behind my back, tell people how shit my content was, and that I was someone who was just looking to leech off people, which wasn't true at all. All I wanted was to be Adam's friend. Anytime he's in some sort of funk, I would reach out to him to see how he's doing, and if he needed anything. I was always there for him. Then things started to change when Alessa and Adam broke up. I considered them both friends, but Adam didn't like that I was still friends with Alessa afterward, even though she never did anything bad towards me, and I was just being a good friend to them both. I started to notice that he changed his way with me. One day, I tweeted a subtweet and deleted it, and then he DM'd me about what it was, just because I was friends with Alessa. Brian included a few screenshots of the DMs, mostly consisting of Adam pressing him about the subtweet and saying he doesn't trust Brian because he still followed Alessa. Another similar story to Brian's came from a VTuber named Ender, who moved in with Adam around the same time as Elizabeth. According to Ender, Adam made false promises and put as much pressure as he could on Ender to move in, only for none of them to be fulfilled. Other former associates of Sky were coming out of the woodwork to support them, one of them being Deadlocks, who said in no vague terms that no one actually liked Adam as much as they feared him, and that he lost 99% of his friends through his career because of the way he behaved. The aforementioned Munching Brotato also shared that Adam bullied him out of the platform, and after enough time passed since it had happened and Brotato thought it was safe to come back, Adam immediately noticed and released private DMs between them, calling on his legion of fans to antagonize him. Seto Sorcerer suggested that Adam had something to do with his departure from YouTube in 2014. Battlesword added that Adam would lie, manipulate, cheat, and emotionally destroy anyone who was imperfect to him. A user named Z showed DMs between themselves and Adam, wherein he could be seen threatening himself. Tim.tv alleged that when the Jimbot situation was still ongoing, he brought it up to Adam, who told him to mind his own business and edit. Smithsound corroborated this by saying that when Jin was arrested, Adam told everyone not to say anything about it so that he could play dumb about it. Later on, Mithsan also dropped a statement, revealing that he regularly worked 15 hours a day for Sky, and once he quit, he instantly started tweeting out a bunch of lies about him, vilifying him and resulting in Sky's fans following suit and harassing Mithsan, which culminated in him distancing himself from creating content and just becoming an editor for somebody else. The insane work hours aren't just Mithsan's claims either. Another user by the name of Sub also relayed that he was working not 15 but 20 hours a day when he was just 15 years old. 6 videos and 6 thumbnails per day, plus 2 animation videos a month, and being so devoted to his work under Sky that he convinced his parents to potentially relocate so that he could continue working. However, after a while of Sub basically running Sky's channel, he was unceremoniously let go, which absolutely crushed him. Fortunately, he quickly came to realize this was a blessing in disguise, as his working conditions were absolutely exploitative, especially since, if I'm understanding this correctly, Sky was telling him he couldn't afford to pay him, despite raking in millions on his main channel at the time. A very similar story came from someone named Queen Cat, who reported being 13 to 14 years old when they were editing the Do Not Laugh videos for Adam, again for no pay at all. Sky's way of repaying their labor was to promise to put their names in the description, which is already pathetic in and of itself, but even then, he wasn't able to fulfill his promise. After repeatedly complaining to Sky about it, he replied that he would shout their name out in another video, which again never happened. A lot like Substory, it crushed them to see their work, which they were only able to do by sacrificing time in school and with their friends, going completely without meaningful credit. A day after Elizabeth's original tweet, Venom came out on Twitter to share his own experience with them. This wasn't a stranger or an ex-girlfriend, but someone who'd worked with him at a point in time, giving a lot of weight to his words. In his Pastebin post titled, "Adam doesn't deserve our forgiveness, but I still hope he tries to earn it," he said,
I want to preface this by saying that ever since 2013, I've been kept just outside of arm's reach of Adam, so I was spared from much of what you may have heard from others. I've known Adam, also known as Skydoes Minecraft,
can spend the day with me and see how I use the iDoors feature on my stories. If you want to see more of me, you can follow me on Instagram and YouTube at GNB.
Since 2009, prior to the creation of the Scott is Minecraft channel. I was there when Adam was trying to get his channel off the ground, and I coached him a lot throughout 2012, which is when the Scott is Minecraft channel initially blew up. I met Sky when he contacted me, joking about a RuneScape video I had made. I can't say we were the closest of friends, but we communicated often all the way through 2012. Myself and Caveman Films even did a fundraiser live stream for him in 2011, link below, so he could buy a new PC, which he ultimately did, and that allowed him to start his Scott is Minecraft career. I would be lying if I said I hadn't felt at least a little bit of guilt and feeling like I had ever helped Adam, like this may have never happened. In the weeks leading up to his channel blowing up, he would often ask me to record with him as it was something we enjoyed. By this point, I had somewhere in the neighborhood of 500,000 subscribers. As time went on, he would ask to record with me a lot because he enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it. I was a hard ass on him about his repeated requests in early July of 2012 because he began asking me to record a little too much. At the end of the day, part of my motivation for being a hard ass was to motivate him. By the time the middle of July had rolled around, he did just that, and we recorded Minecraft Tennis. I firmly believe Adam would have blown up without my assistance at this point, but Adam definitely blew up a lot following the release of this video. And I mean a lot. He went from tens of thousands of views per day to the high hundreds of thousands. I have archived Skype screenshots from 2012 that I looked at yesterday that showed just how excited Sky was. Sky saw nearly overnight success. Some of you may know, earned income on YouTube isn't paid until 30 to 60 days following the end of that month. So while Sky did see overnight success, he did not get any money for it for a few months. I firmly believe that July through August of 2012 were the absolute happiest I ever saw Adam. Within my PAX 2012 Day 1 video, link below, you can see an entirely different looking Adam, who looked so full of life and so ready to just take on the world. He had found success, but money had not yet corrupted him. My memory after PAX 2012 is hazy, but I do remember the first time our friendship became strained was when he organized and did not invite me to Survival Games 5, the video for which is linked below. Considering that I won the first 3, and considering how good of friends we were prior to this time, something seemed up. Now, I want to make clear that this is water under the bridge. I forgave this a long time ago. The reason I bring this up is this is when I began to always be greater than an arm's distance away from Adam, which is why I feel I was spared. In the years following, I heard I was in discussions to be invited into Team Crafted, but later heard Adam struck down that idea. Again, it seems I was spared. The last time I can ever recall seeing him in person was when he was working at Sky Media and we had lunch together. Fast forward to sometime into and after 2018, I began to see just how far Adam had fallen. I need to be extremely careful not to disclose specifics, but Adam called me as a friend to discuss the delusional ideas that he was completely enthralled with. At some point in 2019 or 2020, I had gotten a few calls from Adam wherein he was clearly not in a good state of mind. His home was an absolute wreck, and he was frequently in some kind of psychotic state. I can confidently say that I was scared during these calls. I was scared that I would be the trigger for doing something bad, even though all I wanted to do was support him and calm him down. Adam has been my friend since 2009. Even if I felt the odds were absolutely stacked against him, I always wanted him to have an epic comeback, find a peace, and live happily. But again, because I was kept just outside of arm's reach, I had no idea about the things that were going on that Liz described within her message. All I can confidently say is that me and Liz did speak the one time she mentioned we spoke, and it was very brief. The last time myself and Adam spoke was within the last few months when he borrowed a bit of grocery money from me, which he did 2 or 3 times within the past year. Nothing overly major, as I would have said no to anything I wasn't comfortable with. The last time he borrowed from me, though, I told him it was the last time I could help him financially unless he was able to pay it back and have an amazing comeback, whether it be with the videos, music, or whatever his life passions were. I just wanted the best for my friend, and I still want the best for my friend. Adam did some truly unforgivable things that other people have shared their stories about, and he's especially done unforgivable things within the past few years, which I believe were directly influenced by him losing the remainder of his earned wealth. I will only consider some kind of forgiveness if he does what I think nobody expects from him at this point, and actually strives to fix his life, and then does so and proves to even the harshest of skeptics that he's giving it his all. While Aunt Venom was unable to corroborate many of Elizabeth's more specific claims due to his distance, he was able to confirm one of the most scathing ones, the psychotic phone calls. However, he wouldn't be the last person to follow Elizabeth's lead, as yet another day later, a third person spoke out, identifying themselves as Nick at the end of the twitlonger they made about Adam. It reads as follows. My history with Adam begins in the middle of 2017 after reaching out to members of Team Crafted / Nobody Media in hopes of gaining some experience in the film world while also helping out one of my childhood idols. Until this point, I had not met or seen Adam in the 3 to 4 months I'd been visiting the house members, until one night I was not supposed to have gone back after the shoot. I left my bag inside Adam's bathroom but was told it would be better to leave it there. The general consensus was that Adam could not see me or he would be very, very upset. Tensions rose as Adam walked down the driveway in a robe and greeted me by name. He handed me his drink and asked if I wanted a sip while gesturing me towards the house. Phil and Jason were immediately worried about me, but I told them he was awesome and had no clue why they tried to protect me from such a nice guy. This is where the manipulation began. 3 months after meeting Adam face to face, he began interacting with me on a mutual level on social media, even inviting me to his birthday party, where I was able to meet almost everyone I grew up watching on the YouTube scene. At this point, he was with a girl named Felicia and spent a lot of time away from LA for business. In 2018, Adam entered a very bad time. I was able to come over less, and when I did, he was in his studio off copious amounts of mushrooms, room hotboxed so effectively you were high upon even entering. In 2020, he had asked me to come visit to help him get out of the slump, and I obliged. But I didn't feel all the way safe being alone with him after seeing the way he behaved on Discord, so I took one of my close friends who Adam enjoyed the company of with me. Upon being picked up from the airport, we noticed the state of his house was that of an extremely distressed individual. We stayed for a week, taking him grocery shopping, taking care of the puppy, and handling some of the household chores that had been neglected for some time. Adam began opening up to me about what had happened in the past 2 years and the dark place he had been stuck in for quite some time. He spoke frequently about spiritual adventures where either he was God or possessed some type of power the rest of us didn't. I helped restore the house back to a livable condition before a week came to an end. Adam became a lot more comfortable sharing things I've never heard about him from his private life and expressed wanting me to stay with him longer so we could continue to get better. The week soon came to an end and Adam begged me to stay. Fortunately, the friends that I had brought had to return home and could not do so without me, so we headed back. The month after this, he would call me at random hours of the night, saying extremely cryptic riddles but never explaining what he meant before threatening himself in some fashion, then disappearing for days at a time, only to apologize and say he was working. He finally ends up admitting he took what he claims was upwards of 70 grams of shrooms, and that's why he was having such a bad episode. I flew back to Seattle, alone, this time to see Adam and help him with a music video for a song he had shown me. Liz picks me up from the airport and brings me to Adam's house. Liz would soon have to leave, and she and I exchanged info before she headed home. Adam immediately was less tense, and when I asked who she was, he referred to her as some Tinder girl, but I don't ever see her being my girlfriend. The fucked up part being Liz would have already been pregnant at this point. The week continued with me having to take care of Adam as he slipped in and out of reality, often severely injuring himself in the process. He needed me beside him to bathe because he was afraid of drowning. He'd speak like a baby, mumbling nonsense, shower, and walk around with only a blanket, refusing to put clothes on until falling into bed next to me, yelling at construction workers across the street, calling them Smiths, all the while constructing some master plan to get Mason back. There's no way a child could live there. The house would get worse as I tried to clean it, and I felt myself being pulled further and further into a hole I didn't know the depth of. I finally went home and began to see the events of what was hidden from me unfold, beginning with the birth of Elizabeth's kid. I kept Adam at it, and he would reach out randomly throughout the year with strange requests, like to add him on Facebook and work on videos. He's since pretended to move on and try to surround himself with new shields to defend the character he presents now versus the one who disregarded so many of the people we claim to love. Adam is a lying, manipulative narcissist who should not be in a position of power, and I'd warn against trying to help. No matter how much I want to see the good in him, people need to be aware of what type of man he is. To this day, he will repeat, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it," and threaten himself at the first thought of repercussions for his actions. I'm sorry, but I can't be responsible for you.
Also on the 24th, a user named Skelly posted another tweet longer, explaining that Adam had been essentially trying to love bomb and manipulate him, only to have him come over and take care of Mason for him while he went to his bedroom. Skelly also corroborated Elizabeth's claims that Adam abused their dog Albert, feeding it things it shouldn't eat, throwing it outside whilst it rained, among other things. According to Skelly, Sky had everyone around him do everything for him, from waking him up to scheduling his activities, contacting business opportunities, and coordinating collaborations for him. Adam would do shrooms every single day, lie about quitting to get things he wanted, tell people about his hallucinations as if they were real and call them stupid if they didn't play along, make non-consensual advances on people around him whilst under the influence, video call people in his underpants or naked, call himself God, demonize anyone who he thought wronged him or are no longer in his life, show people pictures of his semen, guilt-trip Skelly into naming his son Adam, and after all of that, never pay him a dime for his work. With all these testimonies coming out in a row, both from people who worked with him and people who were part of his personal life in one way or another, Adam was painted as a pretty calculating abuser, as opposed to the image that the general public had of him, of a guy struggling with mental health who couldn't get a break. Following this close-set sequence of allegations, Sky went close to radio silent on these topics, which puzzled a lot of people since some of the claims made, particularly by Elizabeth, crossed well over into criminal territory, and if she was lying, he could easily sue her for defamation. Again, whilst these are just allegations, Elizabeth shared reports from 2 different police officers who reported Adam was not only belligerent, but possessed by manic delusions. So whatever response he could give would have to be extremely good. Otherwise, it would do nothing but fuel the fire burning on his name at the time. Liz herself posted the DM which Adam sent to Drama Alert, claiming that the allegations were a mix in regards to their veracity. But besides that measly response, nothing really materialized. February went by, then March, April, and nothing of significance came from him besides a page on FameSwap, wherein it appears that Sky had just put his channel up for sale for nearly $1 million, which, as far as I can tell, never happened. In that same month of April, another of Sky's exes, Dawn, tweeted something in response to the Jay Aubrey video that had recently come out about the allegations. She revealed that all the way back in 2012, before he was as huge as he would soon become, Sky was already abusive, as during play fighting, he put her in a real headlock, which didn't allow her to breathe until she was rendered unconscious. After she woke up, Adam expressed that he didn't intend for that to happen. But I don't know how realistically it's possible to choke someone out on accident, especially when they're clawing and biting at you to stop, as Dawn describes herself doing. Still, nothing from Sky's end. Sky waited for almost a year and a half before speaking about the allegations, and by the time he did, many people had long lost their interest in his case since it was inactive. In July 2023, he took to Twitter to attempt to clear his name, saying, "After 2.5-ish years focusing on my mental health, taking in what everyone said and thinks, and trying to protest, I just want to say I'm sorry anyone ever felt so negatively of me. I make mistakes, but only ever try to be a good person. After speaking with professionals leagues beyond me, I think it's in everyone's best interest to let them handle everything in the personal realms of life. That's what they've dedicated their lives to. After all, I only know my life. I've no immense making plans or happy ending ideas in my head with anyone, and I think it's best everyone just moves on with their own lives. As has been stated, I was just always an emotional guy trying to help others, make others laugh, and along the way, lost focus. Just as you only know your life from one perspective in that life, I only know mine. I'm not the horrible monster I've been made out to be. It hurts, and it's a lot of what it's taken time to process. I've laughed, cried, put emotions and resources and more to a lot of the very people describing me as a horrible person or mistakes resolved already, and already in the process of healing. It's just all been very confusing, and I'm not asking for sympathy, just understanding whilst I continue to work through it all. I'm not really interested in being Sky anymore or a YouTuber, but rather just a human being, focusing on improvement, creating things behind the scenes, once in a while telling you what I'm working on, and maybe some music once in a while, as it's therapy to me and my wife. I have been doing okay for those who are interested. I'm married to my wife Wendy, making an album, shooting music videos with her, and have grown past internet drama and things that lower my connections to God and higher frequency, as we get closer to awakening as a species, the end times, the solar flash, etc., whatever you want to call it. I don't focus too much on the internet anymore due to spiritual beliefs, but I do know you're all out there who've supported me and just wanted me to get better. I just wanted to say to those of you who wanted me to get back to the space I was at before, I appreciate you, and saw the redemption stories you all wanted for me so much. I'm off drugs, I'm eating healthy, and really I'm focusing on my mind and my body.
That hurt.
To those of you who just wanted the better me, I saw it. I just personally hit a point of pressure. I never wanted to be some perfect, non-human idea of everyone's old hero. Those were confusing and left me in a weird spot of never knowing how to come out and say, guys, I'm just a guy who makes funny videos, employed friends which cause emotions to be included, has a booming ass voice and viper tongue, and makes just as many mistakes as you during the process of learning and life. I've been living in acceptance of my bipolar schizophrenia over the last 2 years, and my wife Wendy has helped a lot, but it took a long time for me to understand what was happening to me as it developed over the past 5 years. Thankfully, I'm in a place where I feel comfortable enough to let everyone in again, and hopefully look to the future. I'm excited to show you the things I've been working on behind the scenes. I'm not really interested in talking about anything negative anymore, and to those of you who were there for me during my lowest, thank you.
Again, what we're seeing here is a discrepancy between Adam's self-perception as a regular guy struggling with serious mental health issues and how he's described by third parties as a manic manipulator and abuser. While this tweet sort of explains why he hasn't defended himself from the accusations in any way, because he's not interested in things he considers negative, it doesn't really do anything to clear up what way exactly he isn't the monster he's been painted to be. A couple of months after this statement was posted to Twitter, he posted a video to his channel called Where Have You Been?, wherein he vaguely reiterates some of the statement while wearing religious symbols, and then tells people to join a Telegram to stay updated. A little while after, he posted another update to his YouTube where he appeared with his new wife and announced that he was now the COO of Storyfire. If you don't know what Storyfire is, it's basically this YouTube, Twitch alternative platform that was launched a few years ago. It never really went anywhere. And by the way, it was created by Mick Juggernuggets.
You're not touching this. You're not. You know what? It's one of the things on it.
While Adam doesn't doesn't seem psychotic, something still feels off about the things Sky is saying and his presentation. It's almost as if he's holding on to some phantom of himself of early 2010s Minecraft YouTube humor, but in a music form. Throughout the video, he mentions there's going to be a documentary release covering the last 3 years of his life, and that he's been saved by Jesus Christ. Over the course of the following months, he started uploading Minecraft videos again, and I should note, not in a new format that makes an attempt to capitalize on how the platform has changed since 2013, but the exact same way he used to do it 10 years ago. As you can imagine, this wasn't very successful, and the shilling for Storyfire definitely didn't help with popularity, since at this point, Storyfire's public reception was pretty negative after CoffeeZilla, someone who's widely trusted by YouTube audiences, did a video covering a publicity stunt one of its founders, Jesse, did to save his platform from completely dying. After a few attempts at recreating these 2013 Minecraft videos, Sky tried his hand at reacting to the recently released GTA trailer with some of his friends, maybe due to it being trending at the time. That was the penultimate video he uploaded to his YouTube, as his next 3 uploads were Storyfire exclusives, one being an Animal Crossing gameplay, a Lego Fortnite video, and a music video for one of his Net Nobody tracks. Another thing he mentioned along with the documentary was the Net Nobody album he supposedly had been working on that would save the world but never got released. While there's very little activity on the content side of things, he's remained active on Twitter, similarly schizo posting with an occasional normal tweet. More important than his account, in my opinion, is his new wife's. Not because of her posts, but because of her bio. Right after Adam's name, she has Skits Asperger, possibly meaning she's schizophrenic and has Asperger's or something, although maybe it's just a joke. I mean, it easily could be. However, soon after, it also mentions she's a mother of 2. If it's true that she has 2 kids, I hope from the bottom of my heart that her and Adam's mental health issues are and continue to be squarely under control. Time will eventually tell whether that's the case or not, but honestly, as even the people who made the post containing the allegations about Adam said, there's no good reason to hope for Adam to get worse. Everyone wants him to improve as a person. Evidence of this is that, even after all that's been said, his comments and replies are full of supportive messages, many of which come from people who actually believe the allegations. At the end of the day, nobody wants to see one of their favorite content creators, one of the people who defined their childhood and defined YouTube in the early 2010s, in a state of doing horrible things to himself and others. The stakes are pretty high here, so we have even more motivation to hope no domestic incident ever happens again. But if it does, you can be sure that I'll be talking about it. I've been Turkey Tom, thanks for watching, and until next time, huge shout out to Toastify who helped me out with this video. He's one of the best up-and-coming commentary channels right now.
wholesome nice girl on Twitch become one of the most widely hated and controversial streamers on the internet? What were the events, controversies, and disputes that led her cutie facade to crumble? And what happens to the creators who critique, expose, or challenge her? Well, to put it simply, it almost never ends well. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be looking into the many victims of Pokimane, the creators who lost or almost lost their career by challenging and critiquing the queen of Twitch. Looking back at the late 2010s, Pokimane wasn't nearly as much of a controversial figure as she is today, mostly being seen as a wholesome creator who kept herself out of drama. That would be up until 2018, when Keemstar would make a tweet calling the boy-grown SS Sniper fanboy a global virgin. Following the call-out, the adult fanboy would delete his entire Twitter account, and Pokimane would reply in a tweet stating, "Dislike another content creator. You probably shouldn't hate on innocent fans. Do better, King," where Keemstar would reply with a video stating,
"Okay, this is like a man, a full-grown man, and I jokingly called him a virgin. This whole overreaction thing is a bad look for you. Makes me think you're not legitimate. You're not a real person. You're a fraud. You're fake."
The drama wasn't clear though.
Ah!
Pokimane
What
would
happened?
post a video response to Keemstar
Oh, there we go.
stating,
I'm not gonna lie, I laughed pretty hard at the ending of your video because you say that I'm overreacting, yet you called me a fraud just for asking you to be nicer to other people's fans. Who's really overreacting in that situation?
While the drama was nothing more than two creators arguing over what jokes were appropriate and who the bigger fraud was, it would be what happens after that would be the most controversial. This is where we introduce the first victim of Pokimane, Roblox. At the time, Roblox was a small but up-and-coming content creator who posted decent news and archived internet dramas on his 6,000 subscriber YouTube channel. On the 2nd of November 2018, Roblox uploaded a video archiving the situation titled Keemstar vs Pokimane Twitter Fight, Bullying SS Sniper Fanboy, which was an 11-minute compilation of the dispute between Keemstar and Pokimane. Within a couple weeks of uploading, the video would begin to go viral, gaining Roblox over 500,000 views in one day, as well as almost 2,000 new subscribers. To Roblox, this was a potentially life-changing day, as he would tell me, "I felt ecstatic and motivated when it blew up. Not just because of my financial status at the time, but because it was a huge opportunity to bring more attention to my channel and grow with future uploads. I was gaining a lot of subscribers too. 2,000 is a lot in 2018 YouTube. Unfortunately, that success would be cut short after he received a copyright claim and later a copyright strike from Omnia Media, a multi-channel network affiliated with Pokimane. By the 6th of November 2018, Roblox took to Twitter to express his thoughts about the situation. Gotta love YouTubers Pokimane putting false copyright claims on my video and forcing them to be taken down for up to 30 days. What followed was a flurry of tweets and YouTube uploads that detailed the steps Roblox was taking to rectify the situation, from trying to contact Pokimane directly to talking about it to Keemstar and various other YouTubers in hopes of resolving the claim. Although Pokimane's intentions weren't clear, leading Roblox to make various speculations, it was evident that it actually was specifically aimed at his channel, given that other videos using the same clip remained on the platform.
I'm just kind of making this video to show you guys, like, kind of the true side behind some of these YouTubers.
Ow.
If you
Oh my
think
God.
about it, the only reason she took this down is because she didn't want me to have success. And there could be other reasons. It could be like, oh, she doesn't want like 1 million plus people seeing those tweets she made to Keemstar. That's so embarrassing. Why are they still public on her Twitter? Why are other videos showing the same clip that just have less views still on YouTube? If she really didn't want people to see it, why didn't she also claim all those other videos and delete her tweets? Something she has full control over. She can go to her Twitter and delete those tweets and nobody will see it.
To everyone watching Roblox's story unfold, it seemed like Pokimane, a much larger content creator, was abusing her influence to silence a smaller creator from spreading information that she wanted to keep buried. Given the community's strong views on copyright strikes, the situation was perceived as setting a bad precedent for other content creators, and it was only a matter of time before the wave of negativity began affecting Pokimane directly, with a surge of angry comments and exposed videos on her. Due to the claim being unsubstantiated, the strike and copyright claim would be removed by YouTube.
You won't find confidence on any list of SUV features, but there is one brand that has it in spades. And they...
Days after removing the video from his page, slowing his
I
channel
dropped my
growth,
eyeliner.
and risking his channel being terminated. Fortunately for Roblox, the public outrage pushed Pokimane to finally reach out to him directly 2 months later. Despite Pokimane not being the one to remove the false strike, Pokimane would get away without any major consequences. And that 6,000 sub creator is now a successful creator with a respectable 300,000 subscribers. Whilst Roblox's situation was coming to an end, a new YouTuber would enter the crosshair for Pokimane's wrath. On the 28th of December, a YouTuber by the name of Fainted uploaded a video to YouTube titled The Dark Side of Pokimane, in which he discussed Pokimane's recent misuse of the copyright system against Roblox, Davsev, as well as alleged hypocrisy.
We're going to be exploring this dark side. Now, I want to start off with one of the more fresher controversies surrounding Pokimane. For some reason, she's been slightly out of control recently in regards to striking and removing certain people's YouTube videos. A lot of people don't like this because it comes off honestly as her having some kind of superiority complex. She's using her power to just go ahead and strike people's videos, whether it's fair or not. A YouTuber called Boblax took some clips from her Twitter where she was having an argument with Keemstar regarding SS Snowball. And it turns out into one of those crazy Twitter feuds. Literally, Pokimane and Keem were both firing selfie videos at each other. So this guy took all the clips from their argument and then uploaded them into a YouTube video. And Pokimane saw it and wasn't a big fan of the fact that he'd taken her tweets and then put them onto a YouTube video. And she just thought, hey, I'm gonna strike this down, boys. I mean, claiming the video is one thing, but actually trying to take it down and issue a strike to his channel is just absolutely ridiculous and a complete abuse of power regarding YouTube's copyright systems. She hopped into a Discord voice call with a YouTuber called Davsev. I mean, it's a pretty weird name, honestly. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but we're just gonna go Davsev. This bloke uploads generic Twitch streamer highlights, clips, and compilations. I believe the reason for her originally inviting him for this call was due to him lying in her stream chat, claiming he would gift up to $5,000 worth of subs. Essentially, he was behaving like a bit of a schmuck. So she called him up to discuss what he was doing, and during this call, she comes across his YouTube channel, and you know, it's a bit of a disaster, I've got to be honest. There's some shocking videos on there, mate.
He continued by sharing clips of Pokimane making fun of Davsev's YouTube and Instagram, as she smugly threatened to copyright strike his videos on the stream. While Fainted didn't have a problem with Pokimane being harsh to Davsev over using clickbait and publishing barely edited stream clips, Fainted did take issue with Pokimane's attitude towards re-uploads when a good chunk of her content is her reacting with minimal input.
I'm so sorry that it takes you so much time to go to the top clips on Fortnite and then just right click and save all of them as, and then just like put them all into Premiere and then just like export it. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I'll be taking down some of your videos.
So as you can see from this clip, Pokimane is actually getting triggered by the fact that YouTubers are taking other streamers' content and uploading them as a form of a compilation. I find this painfully hypocritical, considering Pokimane has no issue whatsoever spending literally 30 minutes watching TikTok compilations in her own live stream. And the best bit is, her main source of commentary during this reaction is actually the sloppy moisture from her trough of cabbage leaves.
Fainted argued that Pokimane was unjustly striking the uploads of other creators that featured her content, while she would include entirely unedited clips of other creators' content on her stream. Despite Fainted's points in the video not being rock solid, his message resonated with the viewers and received 3.4 million views in the process. The sudden influx of viewership catapulted Fainted's channel from below 1,000 subscribers to almost 200,000 subscribers. The copyright controversy involving Pokimane and Boblax might have been resolved by this point.
Ow, my fucking foot.
Reignited the drama.
Ow. Fucking cunt. Ow. I hurt the fucking hit my foot.
Now I know about
Ow.
this video because it was pushed everywhere by YouTube. It was basically a Twitter feud between Keemstar and Pokimane. They uploaded
sniffly.
videos to each other. I don't know, because Keemstar is illiterate. And
Oh yeah,
for
it's
some reason,
raining.
Pokimane decided,
It
yeah, I'll make a
rained
video
last
as
night.
well.
We had a
Nevertheless,
thunderstorm
someone
warning
decided to put
thing.
these two videos in together and upload
Yeah.
it on YouTube.
I'm just
And
really
the YouTube
happy our
algorithm
power
thought,
didn't go
"Oh,
out.
This is an interesting video that people want to watch," and pushed it everywhere. So basically, this Twitter drama became an even bigger drama. thanks to
That
the
happens a
YouTube
lot though
algorithm.
out here
In a
because
way, can
I live in
understand why
Texas
you
and our
wanna
power
take
grid
down
isn't
this
great, and I
video,
live in the
because
country, so
this
our power grid isn't
selected
great.
thing blows up and becomes
And
even bigger
power
thanks to
grid
YouTube's
isn't
system
great.
being,
That's the
kind of
sentence
stupid.
I
At
was
least
trying
I
to say.
can
Anyway,
somewhat understand the
so my
motivation
power
of
goes
trying to
out
take
like
down that video,
6-7
but
times a
probably-
year.
and this is
at
the problem that
least.
goes with every single example that I brought up in this video.
It's a lot,
is that you're
and I'm just really
drawing more
happy our power
attention
didn't
to
go
it.
out
It's a
last night.
surprise and effect every single time. The more you try and hide something, the more people are gonna find out about it. That's what brought all these examples to life.
Things were getting out of hand, and something needed to be done fast if Pokimane wanted to salvage her reputation. And by the 13th of January 2019, Pokimane published a video on her main channel titled My Response to the Copyright Strike Allegations / PewDiePie / Dark Side of Pokimane.
Hello friends, there's been
This summer's hottest blockbuster isn't a movie. It's a spicy new rap from Jimmy John's, starring Ghost Pepper Cheese and introducing Firecracker Chips. The reviews are in. This summer, it's gonna be.
sit down, have an open and honest chat with you guys so that nobody feels like I'm avoiding it or not responding to things. And regardless of whether you're a subscriber of mine or you come from another channel, I hope you watch the full video. I want to try to give you guys my point of view, the facts from my end, and give any type of clarity that I can, because I do think that there are some really important points for me to hit on and own up to, and there are also some misconceptions that I would like to clarify.
The video was mainly Pokimane responding to the point PewDiePie made in his video, talking about her live stream with Davsev and justifying her copyright strikes on Roblox. According to Pokimane, she thought it would lessen the drama around her and Keemstar if she suppressed Roblox's video, also stating that she was within her rights to do so. Unfortunately for Pokimane, hiding the drama only made it worse. And with regards to the Davsev stream, she recognized that she, quote, shouldn't have had that conversation on stream.
The point of this is just to say that was an entirely different scenario and situation where I was well within my right to take down his content, but also in that moment and in that live stream, like I shouldn't have had that conversation on stream, and it definitely was a moment of frustration that shouldn't have been like publicized in that way, for sure.
As you'd expect, viewers weren't all too pleased with the way she deflected the main issues people had with her use of the copyright system, as well as the fact that her response only came out 2 days after PewDiePie talked about it, with comments stating, "Summary, it wasn't my fault. Imagine being a hypocrite and not bringing up your worst parts." Shaking my head. "I didn't attack the way you looked. You cut out the part where you pretended to vomit after he asked you, do you like what you see?" Since making a pseudo-apology didn't work, Pokimane took a different route to resolving the drama, by getting Roblox to arrange a Discord call with him, her, and fainted.
So, as a lot of people already know, streamers will claim videos that use their content very frequently. Like the biggest streamers, Ninja, Shroud, Daquan, whoever else, right? And they will claim not only like full re-uploads, but also things where there's like compilations where it's just like partially their content. They will claim part of that video or the whole video, even if it's just like 1 to 2 minutes and a compilation, but it is using their content. That is a very common thing. Now, under that assumption, if that video is not fair use and they can claim it for revenue, even though it's a compilation, the same thing would apply to Boblox's video. So if compilations are fair use, then literally all the top streamers and what all BMCNs are doing is incorrect.
Yeah.
So that's what pushed me to think a compilation like that with no heavy editing and no commentary is not fair use.
Okay, but you didn't obviously claim it just for monetization. You striked it, which is a different situation.
Yes, but at the end of the day, my point is just whether or not it's fair use.
Pokimane might have been able to put an end to Faint's critique of her with an interview, but the approach she took to silencing It's a Gundam was vastly different. On the 14th of May 2020, It's a Gundam posted a video titled "Simp willingly goes homeless for Pokimane." The video mostly consisted of It's a Gundam reading tweets and making light of Pokimane's fans who seemed overly dedicated to her.
I saw your 1K donation to our last stream. That's crazy, bro. I'm still below the top 10 donations. Pokey Squad. Donate a little less this month because 4 months of rent were overdue, but still gotta do it. Pokey Squad. Oh yeah, Pokey. Oh, I love, she's amazing. What does this one do? Pokey is kawaii. Then the next guy goes, yeah, man, I get it. My wife's been bugging me about this holiday I promised her like 8 months ago. But the squad comes first. Devoted hashtag Pokey Squad. Think about the state of mind you have to be in, where basically you're married, and instead of paying for a vacation that would probably get your wife off your ass, you gave it to Pokey.
Even though the video was very well received by viewers and everyone managed to get a good laugh out of it, Pokimane was far from amused.
In situations like this, I don't want to keep letting false things run rampant because most people will not go through the effort of looking up the tweet like I did. And so I have a voice and I want to utilize it to stand up for what I think is right.
Sadly, Pokimane decided to use that voice to attack It's a Gundam's livelihood.
To be fair, I actually can't believe anyone would sponsor these shenanigans. And I will say, for this company to sponsor a video that's literally 20 minutes of talking shit about me, but if you ever reach out to me, if I ever see you in my inbox, on site, on fucking site. Like, no company should do that just about ever. Oh, is this a video where some random dude behind a VR machine calls a girl a thought for 20 minutes? Really want to put my logo on that one.
Complaining about another creator making a video about you is one thing, but attacking their sponsorships for it is a completely different story. Pokimane's reaction to criticism has always been disproportional from the actual critique itself, and it was full on display with how she was willing to treat It's a Gundam. But in the end, Pokimane got what she wanted.
And the sad thing is, I didn't walk away from this unscathed. I had a sponsorship kind of lined up like a big video game company. Let's just say they're big enough that E3 they had their own press conference and special presentations. Yeah, that kind of win. So I hope you have it, folks.
While losing a major sponsorship was a devastating experience for It's a Gundam, it was nothing compared to what happened to Leafy after it crossed Pokimane. It's a well-known fact that Leafy has always been a controversial figure on YouTube, from Twitter beef with Keemstar to entire videos dedicated to insulting iDubbbz. Leafy forged a career for himself around mocking other content creators and thriving off the resulting drama. However, these controversial tendencies would soon become his undoing. On the 30th of July 2020, following a 2-year hiatus, Leafy released a video with the title Content Nuke Pokimane. On the surface, the video was just Leafy criticizing Pokimane for being a popular streamer with lackluster humor, lazy reactions, and horrible responses to any form of criticism. But around 11 minutes into the video, Leafy would make a statement that would spark one of the wildest debates in internet history.
And if you ever happen to come across one of her big-time fans, you know, one of those tier 3 subs, just
My
on your
eyes
way
are
to
so
the grocery
pretty.
store or whatnot, be sure to remind them that she has a boyfriend. Because I think that they would really love to hear that little piece of information, and I bet she would too. And you know, a lot of the time she's just reacting to videos, so, you know, I think she could go for some discussion. She wouldn't mind that. I mean, I just think it would be a really interesting topic, and it totally wouldn't completely demolish her entire image in front of her fucking loser fan base.
Now, it's important to remember that Pokimane had kept the relationship status a secret, and to the 2 million people who just watched Leafy's Content Nuke, this revelation came as a complete shock. In typical Leafy fashion, he created the hashtag Pokimane Boyfriend to further upset Pokimane and her fan base. Following the video,
I'm
it
hyping
immediately
now.
went
Okay,
trending
I need
on
to stop
Twitter
that because
with
my
almost
heart's like
10,000 tweets in the first 6
Mm.
hours, making jokes about Pokimane's tier 3 subs. The hashtag also rekindled hate from other controversies and brands.
Does anyone else just start like singing clown music? I do that a lot. I quite like clowns. They're quite fun. Where is my Duda? My leg hurts. Oh, it needs to down. Okay.
It's been hard for me to find the same joys and motivation for creating content. The things I look forward to the most, like visiting my family, traveling, going to conventions, and meeting some of you, aren't possible right now. I hope you use this message as a reminder to take care of yourselves. Disconnect
I need
from
to
social
take
media,
my
go outside,
vitamins and probably lay down.
hang in there. See you soon. Love, Emane. However, that didn't stop Leafy from making several more videos revolving around Pokimane. Leafy had brought Pokimane's cutesy image crashing down and forced her to do something she
Where's my other glue? Because this one doesn't want to work right now. I have 2. Well, stood up quick. Okay. Here is it. I would like to know. Here it is. This has less, but I know it's going to be easier to get out.
Hi
Ow.
everyone, I hope you're doing well. This video is to address recent comments and criticisms that I've received. I know this video is long overdue and I planned a vacation for around this time, but I honestly should not have taken any time off prior to acknowledging or addressing or apologizing for these things. Not only that, but I should have properly apologized when the incidents actually occurred. It shouldn't have taken me this long to come to a proper understanding of how to handle these situations and how to apologize for that. But I hope that I can do that today.
Unfortunately, Leafy's crusade against Pokimane wouldn't come without grave damage to his own career. On the 21st of August 2020, Leafy's 5 million subscriber YouTube channel was permanently terminated. And according to a report from The Verge, it was due to quote cyberbullying and encouraging viewers to disrupt other creators' streams. Not long after, in September of the same year, Leafy's Twitch account would be banned for, quote, hateful conduct and threats of violence against a person or group of people, unquote. No one can say for sure that Pokimane played a role in Leafy using his YouTube and Twitch, but when you look into what happened to Gideon's Twitch account, the similarities become obvious. Gideon had always had a knack for entertaining his viewers, with interesting pranks and trolling antics. But when he decided to apply that same energy towards Pokimane's chats by asking his audience to spam L+ ratio, things didn't go in his favor.
I hear what am I seeing the spam?
One after another.
If you get banned,
Nice shots.
I think I'm gonna end stream
I
because,
believe that's how it works. Pretty sure.
like, as much as I can deal with this, I don't like that people from Discord are whispering people on my stream. I put up with the bullshit, but I don't want you guys to think it's bullshit, okay?
Pokimane wasn't pleased at all with Gideon's joke, and neither was Twitch. The following day, Twitch issued a 14-day ban to Gideon's account to ensure he didn't mess with their favorite streamer. However, that didn't stop him from continuing to mock Pokimane, as he would change his profile picture to a picture of Pokimane wearing no makeup. In retaliation, Pokimane made her Twitter private and changed her display name to Incel Slayer. This prompted other creators to rush to her defense and call Gideon a quote misogynist. Sad how Pokimane still has to deal with misogyny and harassment in 2022. And it's even more sad how I have to say this publicly because people are afraid to stand up and say that she's being treated poorly because they'll be called a simp. To really drive her point home, Pokimane later went on stream to express her disappointment with how Twitch handled the situation.
I have no clue how someone who was already harassing me on Twitter for like a week got partnered on Twitch. And then during their first stream continued to do that for like an hour and then got a 2-week suspension. Like, is that really the kind of partners you want, Twitch? I don't understand. I feel like that's embarrassing, bro. Oh, and the other thing that really disappointed me, seeing him on a call with Ninja and Ninja like allied with him and saying, oh, like, I'll try to make sure your ban isn't too bad. I guess the reason I bring up the whole Twitch thing is that if you're going to allow this kind of behavior to one of your most prominent streamers, I can't imagine the type of shit that other female streamers get that might completely go unnoticed, or like no action is taken, or like little to no action is taken. I obviously like greatly stand for BLM. I don't want that to be up for debate at all, so I want to make that very apparent. And if we ever do get to a point where we have to block that term, just know it's because it's getting spammed and spammed with inappropriate things and not at all representative of my personal sentiments towards the movement. I'm literally out here just wanting to play Valorant or Minecraft on random evenings, and my existence is turned into like a gender topics debate. I didn't ask for this. Like, even taking myself out of the equation, that's what I find so embarrassing for the platform. Like, this is what you allow? No. This is what you want to partner? You could do better. Like, we as a collective.
Pokimane has very thin skin when it comes to any form of criticism or jokes that are thrown her way, and is even more than willing to use her privileged position on Twitch to take down anyone that offends her. However, Gideon did recognize that he stepped out of line and released a statement to share his thoughts and apologize. Quoting, looking back, I did do certain things completely wrong. My ideal content is to always put the joke on me, but I put the joke instead on others, which is going against what I stand for to begin with. I'm not too stubborn to sit back and listen to genuine criticism. It will make me better moving forward.
Thank you
Unfortunately
for
for
the like.
Gideon, he wouldn't get the chance. Following Pokemon's stream, Twitch changed Gideon's 2-week ban to a permanent one, and there was no doubt that Pokemon had a hand in it.
I was good with y'all boys, bro. So, a lot of you guys already know I got banned on Twitch. My first day being partnered. If you don't know, go look it up real quick. It'll be really easy to find out why. But I'm not here to talk about why I got banned because I just. I deserve to get banned. It is what it is. I hope TOS. What I am here to talk about is I'm here to ask Twitch to make it fair. Because when Twitch first banned me, I got a 14-day suspension. But after other people reacted to my ban and voiced their opinion of that not being severe enough, my 14-day suspension went to a permaban, which I feel isn't fair. I feel that Twitch should keep my 14-day suspension, especially for a first-time offense, and not let outside factors determine, me being permaban.
Despite how bleak and unfair the situation seemed, Gideon wanted to put an end to the negativity, reaching out to Pokemon directly and collaborating with her.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much beef you have with a person, like, you can always just squash it. Like, because I don't want the channel just to be about pure beef unless it's about Tyrone. There's just so much more in the world to be worried about than just, like, negativity and stuff like that. So, Pokey, you kept on calling me Bijan Mustard. So, at first I thought it was like a little shot at me, but then I was like, he's obsessed with it. So, I got you a lifetime supply of Bijan Mustard.
Thank you so much. This is gonna be our first trust.
No, yeah, it is. Oh, trust one? Are you really a
This is our first trust.
I'm 250 pounds of pure muscle. Okay.
Pokimane has a history of overreacting when it comes to criticism or trolling. She deemed it necessary to copyright claim a video that featured drama she was involved in and showed little remorse years later.
But I was like, maybe if we kill this, because he had deleted his tweets already, and I was like, I just want this whole drama to be over. Yeah. And I made not the right call, in hindsight, to have that video removed.
Attacked fellow creators' sponsorship opportunities over a joke and manipulated Twitch into banning someone permanently because she thought their initial punishment was too light. It's safe to say that Pokimane has a tendency to take advantage of her position as Twitch's top streamer, to censor or take down anyone she sees as a threat or a nuisance. To make matters worse, Pokimane has extended her victimization strategies beyond just harming other creators, and decided to take advantage of her loyal fans with her latest product, Midnight Mini Cookies. At a first glance, this seems like a regular influencer product launch, but once viewers peel back the cutesy facade and marketing hype, they notice a few glaring issues. For one, the added 3 mcg of vitamin D that Pokimane uses to claim the product is healthy is far below the data required dose for an adult. On top of that, Pokimane claimed they were working on the formula for over 2 years. However, it is almost completely based on a white label product that was discontinued, now being sold for 3 times the price of the original, at $28 per 4 packs of cookies. To add insult to injury, Pokimane made sure to label her fans who called her out on the cookies broke idiots in the latest live stream.
When people are like, oh my god, $28 for cookies? It's 4 bags. That's $7 a bag. I know math is hard when you're an idiot, but if you're a broke boy, just say so.
As you can see, it's $7 for 1 bag of Mina cookies, which at a glance might seem like a better deal than the Costco ones that are $10, until you realize that the Costco ones have 3.5 times more cookies than the ones that Pokimane is selling, evidenced by the weight being 4 ounces on Pokimane's bag and the weight being 14 ounces on the Midnight cookies from Costco. Now, 4 divided by 14 is 0.28, so you are getting 28% of what you could be getting from Costco for only $3 more.
Okay, that's good. been trying to replace the same lash for like 10 minutes.
Awkward having to do a podcast.
I don't really want those. This is like the same fucking tube, basically. I just noticed that. These are two different brands and two different formulas. Same fucking tube. I like how I'm putting on makeup today just to edit. Literally just to edit my video for either today or tomorrow. Depends. But like, just to edit and cuddle my cat. Because I edit in my bed. And she likes to come sleep on my leg when I edit. Or on the desk. Or in her little rocking chair. She has a rocking chair. This is her. That's her rocking chair. Because she loves it. Oh my god. Okay. I love you all. I hope you all have an amazing day. You're all great and beautiful and talented and just the most amazing people I've ever met in my entire life. Bye.